Hello and welcome back to Niche Radio every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Fab Radio International with your favourite hosts Owen Duncan and
Connell Taylor. Hello.
Hello, today we're talking about Age of Ultron, lots and lots of Joss Whedon, Anthony Stewart Head. We're talking about RoboCop, Terminator, you name it, we've got it. We're not the show you want, we're the show you need. Hello and welcome back to a thrilling installment of Niche Radio with us.
Radio.
So, how's it going?
I'm excited to do today's episode. We decided today we're going to dedicate our whole episode, the awesome show that this is, to the wonderful man that is Joss Whedon.
Indeed, we are dedicating our lives and souls to him because we completely support him in everything he does, creative or otherwise.
He is a wonderful man.
Yep.
He is a wonderful man. So, Joss Whedon, if you're listening, feel free to... I was just about to say tweet in. I suppose you can't now.
Give us a hug.
Call. Phone in. Yeah. I'll give you a beer. Well, I'll share my beer.
We can have a dance off. You know, it'd be great.
If anyone knows Joss Whedon, tell him to tune in if he's not already doing so. Because, friend, this is for you.
So today we've got tons and tons of Whedon love for you. We've also got some Anthony Stewart Head love for our Actor of the Week. We want to talk about him. We want to talk about superpowers and the realistic consequences of those and much, much more, including a fun quiz, which I may, if I get them all right, earn myself another Final Fantasy VII Victory theme. But in the meantime, let's find out what has come out in the stores this week.
What's new? What's new? What's new in Forbidden Planet?
Don't be alarmed. It's only a laser sword fight. Don't be scared. It's only the Death Star destroying another world. Relax. It's only a movie, and it's all for fun. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
So here we are back again for what's new in Forbidden Planet. We are talking Forbidden Planet Manchester, the one on Oldham Street, so please pop in if there's anything in particular you want. But today, we're going to focus particularly on statues, because statues are awesome, and recently I've achieved some statues myself, which I'm quite pleased with.
I enjoy the adjective of achieved.
Yes, well, you know, just buying them is kind of boring, isn't it?
Yep.
But I now have a kind of Whedon themed selection with a little bit of Thor thrown in. But first up, what's in the shop? There's been some new ones in the last couple of weeks. There's been an awesome Nightwing bust of him with nunchucks, looking pretty hench. There's also been a black and white Harley Quinn reissue, which is a resculpt of the original Harley Quinn Bruce Paul Tim Dini version that came out when the black and white statues were first a thing. And there's been many more as well, more of which I will think of as the night goes on.
Which do you prefer? Full body statues or busts?
Full body, definitely.
I prefer busts.
Yeah.
Something about the style, to be fair. I say the style, they're all different, but just that as an idea, like, makes me think of the front of ships. You just have
like a figurehead.
So
yeah, that's cool.
There would always be something royal or bird like on a ship to have like Hellboy in the same sort of way of being placed. Looks amazing. I think busts are where it's at.
Oh, it's all about the busts. But I'd agree to an extent, but I prefer a big bust. So you know the ones you see in films where you knock the bust over and then it opens a secret room. Like that kind of style. Yeah, the one that's always Beethoven usually, in most films. But yeah, that kind of size would be quite cool. You know, it's got kind of Roman elegance to it, don't you think?
They have. We should. I wonder if we could either campaign or just make one. We'll get like a giant Hellboy bust, slice its head halfway through, and like put a button in it, put some electrics in it, and that's how we can open our fridge
That would be pretty.
or
over the
anything
top.
else more logical. Our front door.
Yeah, yeah. Are there gonna be brains and stuff inside if we open it up?
Let's find out.
All right, cool. But yeah, so we've got tons and tons of those, the small busts. And at the moment, we've got some of the first busts that Marvel did, including the original Black Cat one, which were donated by a member of staff. So the ones that you can't get anymore, which is quite cool, because in Forbidden Planet we very rarely sell anything kind of secondhand or kind of like old vintage collectible merchandise. It's all, as I said before, like brand new stuff that's coming out, so it's still collectible.
Why not? If you don't mind me asking, as someone who doesn't work there.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
There's no answer to that. It'd be quite cool to. I mean, I'd quite like to hone my knowledge of like old collectible comics and exactly what the fine details are of whether it's in mint condition or not. A bit of foxing around the edges and all that lot.
If you were to look for anything like that, where would you look? Any shops in Manchester, or would it be like
there's
jobs?
Well, there's one that we recommend to customers looking for secondhand stuff, and that's Empire Exchange, because they tend to buy and sell loads of different collectibles, from everything from old 70s porn mags to rare records.
Is that the one by the train station?
Yeah, that's always blaring out music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair play. It's an interesting shop.
Yeah, they have all kinds of weird stuff in there. But yeah, so I mean, what bust would you want if you could choose any one? You just allowed one.
Oh, definitely. I would want something like. I really like busts for, like I said earlier, the idea of them coming out of a ship. So it would have to be like, they were quite often naked, bare-breasted ladies. So anything bare-chested, maybe even Hellboy would be rad, or the Hulk.
Yeah,
So big and muscled but defined as well. Like almost like coming at you as a bust as opposed to
like leaning forwards.
yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, I mean, the statues I've got, I'm very happy with. I'm glad they're not busts, because you get to see the entire figure of the character. My most recent purchase has been Serenity from the Firefly series. Ooh. So yeah, it's the entire ship, and you get the little shuttle with it as well, and it looks absolutely lovely. And that's one of the QMX ones, I think. And also recently I bought Frog Thor, which is
so good.
Which is a lovely kind of diorama statue of him on a log with Mjolnir, looking like a tree frog, which I think is brilliant because it's quite realistic. It's kind of done in a style reminiscent of British literature, classic literature.
Why was he turned into a frog? I've not read this.
I think it's one of Loki's schemes back in the day, but to be honest, I've not read it either.
It would make sense if it was Loki, I suppose.
I just love the idea that it's Frog Thor. It's just a bit weird and wonderful, and I like it.
I like how only Thor would instantly be like, "I've been turned into a frog. Oh well, I'll get on with it. Mjolnir."
yeah, exactly. Though my visage may be frogly, I am still the son of Odin. Bring me another fly, mead.
Can he be the son of Todin?
yeah.
There
he
must have
can.
been that, or wherever these stories are. There must have been Todin jokes.
Yeah, there's got to be
It's
at
too
some
easy.
point. Yeah. And I've also, thanks to Ange from Forbidden Planet, also got a Buffy animated statue, which is very nice, from the animated series that never really was. There was a pilot of it, and that was kind of it. But and then also the beautiful Felicia Day as Codex from the Guild, which is a very limited statue that the lovely Big Dog got for me.
That was an excellent Christmas present.
It was indeed. She's got sparkly knickers on.
Big up, big dog.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Word up. Yeah. So what's new in Forbidden Planet? There's also some of the new statues from Arkham Knight, which are very cool. So that's the new game for Batman, and it's got Batman looking pretty hench with it's a full statue with all his extra gubbins. So he's got his bat belt on, and like it's a very detailed sculpt.
The Frank Miller Batman ones, I'm not sure if you still do them.
They're part of the black and white series. So lots of famous artists get a statue basically to sculpt themselves, or that's sculpted based on their original drawings. So there's the Frank Miller one, the Mike Mignola one, etc.
Awesome. I like the Mad one, like the Mad Comics one.
Oh,
I
really?
like Mad. I think it's a bit weird, and it is a bit weird. There's no denying that, but it's not my type of weird. But that looked really cool.
With like the fat Batman.
Yeah,
that's the Mad magazine. Yeah, he's got like a bit of a podge on and he looks a bit weird. Yeah. See that's been at the shop for a while. Apparently, there's not enough Mad fans that also like Batman fans.
They are very different.
Yeah, I'd argue so. I never really got the whole mad thing, but then I never really got into it, so I guess I've got no point of understanding there.
I think it was just very, very popular at the time, and that's it. So people who were in the right place at the right time and saw it and were freaked out. I suppose like we were with Brass Eye and Wonder Shows and things like that. Most people watch it back now and go, that's weird, mate.
Yeah, it was pretty weird then. But yeah. Yeah, but also in Forbidden Planet recently, there was, of course, Free Comic Book Day, which was a day, which happens every year, of free comics. So you could go into your local comic shop and pick up some of the designated free comics. Not like some customers ask every year, which is, so are all the comics free today? Which isn't the case. Unfortunately, as generous as we are, we're still a business.
It's not a closing down sale. It's a, if we say yes, we have to close down
yeah.
day.
Yep. So, but yeah, it was a lovely day though. Lots of people coming in dressed up, lots of community spirit, people coming in for their free comics and then buying a few bits and bobs here and there as well. Yeah, and all the big publishers released a little something to be given away free. So you got all the main publishers. So there were things about Attack on Titan you could read up. There's a DC one, Marvel one, a few different bits and bobs here and there that you could just pick up and have a little peruse through.
Excellent. Do you get people cosplaying and coming down?
Oh yeah, tons. Especially the little ones, like proper wee kids come in dressed up. We had a little Deadpool. And loads of awesome costumes, and of course the big kids as well. And there's plenty of people dressed up. I think 2 years ago was when I went as Supergirl for it and terrified loads and loads of people, great and small.
I can see why.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought my pins were up to it, but apparently not.
The girl
Maybe I should have shaved first.
It's half your size, height and width.
Yeah, well, maybe now. You know, I'd had a few less pounds then. Maybe I should have shaved.
Maybe your legs too.
Never. I don't really need to be honest. They're not particularly hairy. Anyway, that's too much personal information. If you want to see my legs, just click on owenduncan.com for full exposure. So, but without further ado, here's some of this.
Competition time. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. In a competition.
So it's competition time. The competition we are still running is one of free comics for us on the theme of Free Comic Book Day.
I think it's brilliant. All of, what was it, March, we gave away free comics.
And now we want to get them back. Yeah, so that's the score. We want independent people with good ideas, so like good comics or I don't know, indie films, fan fiction, you know, whatever you choose, anything creative that is kind of geeky. If it's, I don't know, cosplay photos or some personal artwork you've done, anything, please send it in to us or get in touch with us and let us know what your DeviantArt page is or what your website is. We'll give it a peruse and then we'll review it on the next show.
Yeah, if you go to one of the 3 places I've put up the poster, one of which is the studio. So if you happen to be in the studio, you'll see the poster, or you could just listen.
That's true.
Yeah, we want to change competition time for the niche review.
Dun, dun, dun.
And yeah, like, we know loads of people who putting out comics want to get more into it, and eventually, like most people do, want to get paid for it, and so they should. But all part and parcel, like we found out with running gigs, it takes a long time to like get your foot in the door, get your name known. Mm-hmm. We've got a small radio show and a handful of listeners. Don't know how many, but if we can tell 17 people about your comic, then that's 17 people who wouldn't have heard about it otherwise. So send us one in and we'll advertise it all week while we're running up to the show and then talk about it on air.
Yeah, I think it's a fine plan. And if you want to get in touch, you can get in touch via 3 means. You can either go to Facebook, which is Niche Nights, and send us a private message on there. Or, of course, you could go to our @Niche Radio handle on Twitter and give us a message on there as well. Also, with part and parcel of you sending us your things to review, we will, of course, share it on our social media to tease people into what's in store for them when for our niche review.
I was thinking about we put this show on YouTube every week. So if you're not already, please do subscribe on there. Type in Niche Nights on YouTube and you'll find it. But as part of it, and whoever's on the show, if we can get some artwork from it digitally, then we've got to make it into a video. If you put it on YouTube, we'll put it on there as well, so more people can see it. So as much as we can advertise, we will do for you. And then we get to read free comics and learn about new artists, read new stories, and hopefully meet new cool people. So please do get in touch if you've got anything. We've got a guy who's made an app to do with reading comics on your phone, who I think we might be doing an interview with over the next month. As soon as he's doing quite well. His app's been bought by the Apple Store.
Lovely.
So he's doing all right. So as soon as he's free, he's going to come down and do an interview with us about it. Hopefully we're going to give out some free copies of his app or some
brilliant stuff,
vouchers, however you do it.
Well, there's lots and lots of bright, new, interesting ideas in store on a Niche Radio. But in the meantime, I don't know if you've been keeping up to speed with Game of Thrones. I don't want to spoil it for any of you, but here is our Game of Thrones advert from the amazing and incredibly talented Ian McElhinney, who plays Barristan Selmy in Game of Thrones.
Hello, this is Ian McElhinney here, Barristan Selmy for Game of Thrones. Tune into Niche Radio for everything sci-fi, comics, cult television, and gaming. Welcome to the Age of Rat.
So that was Ian McElhinney, who is one of the pivotal roles in Game of Thrones. Has a lot to do this season without giving anything away. But yeah, so moving on, that's our competition. Please get in touch on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. They're either Niche Nights or Niche Radio. If you type either of those into Google, you'll find us and our shiny, happy faces.
Hello.
I'm making a shiny, happy face. If you're looking on webcam, which you can at whatever our webcam.com is.
For the rest of the show, we're going to drink every time one of us says shiny.
Oh, really?
Well, if you say you have to drink, and if I say I have to drink.
Talking of shiny and Firefly and Kaylee from the Firefly crew, we'll be talking about her a bit later.
She did something shiny today.
She did something very shiny. In fact, I think it was yesterday, but we love her for it. But of course, in the meantime, no Niche Nights Niche Radio show would be complete without an update of our upcoming events. 3 legendary Nights of Niche bring to you events full of fun, gaming and competitions at Niche Nights. So, what is happening in the wonderful, incredible world of Niche Nights? Well, plenty of stuff. Recently, we've had a lot of fun. On May the 3rd, which is the day before Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you, of course, we saw in all the way till past midnight, Star Wars Day. And we watched the film, we had some drinks, and we had a very, very fun DJ. Big thanks to Claire, who was our 90s DJ for the majority of the night.
She did very, very well. Fair play.
Yeah, and a big thank you to everyone who came down, and an even bigger thank you to the lovely Ewok, who was Yas Baraz, who, again, she's won a few competitions from us now. She's a proper Niche Nights Katir.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah, she walked away with a massive Star Wars bundle, and everybody who entered the Star Wars cosplay got a little plush of Star Wars Angry Birds stuff, and it was very fun. Thank you to all the staff and everyone involved.
I really enjoyed just watching a film I really like with big speakers on a big screen in a bar.
It was brilliant.
Excellent.
And the crowd reaction as well when when the line "I am your father" came on, everyone cheered.
Sorry, we should have said spoiler alert then. If you haven't seen Star Wars,
somebody else's father.
Yeah, we won't say who. And there's some incest, but you don't really see much detail.
Yeah, so if that's what you're looking for, just try the internet. I hear it's full of it. Either that or go to Monmouth. Well, yeah, calls him like I see him. But yeah, Star Wars event was absolutely incredible. Thank you to everybody who was involved. We all had a very fun time. I may have overindulged in the beers, but that is my right as an alcoholic.
It's good. Fab Cafe is the place to be.
It sure is. And also, talking of lovely events, there was going to be a 90s night at Tiger Lounge. Unfortunately, due to weevil infestation in my record collection, we cannot, in fact, do that one. So if you're looking forward to a 90s night, I'm very sorry, but the one on Thursday at Tiger Lounge is officially cancelled. However, keep tuned on Niche Nights and Niche Radio, because you never know when we're going to spring another 90s night on you, probably when you least suspect, possibly on a bank holiday when there's no repercussions. But yeah, watch this space for that. But then there's even more. We've got future events, and a long time in the future in a galaxy, well, in this galaxy.
In a galaxy far, far July.
Yeah, so July the 26th is the incredible MCM After Party, which is going to be amazing. It's a free event, and there's going to be DJs from everywhere. The Anime Northwest Legion. Also, there's going to be DJs from Niche Nights, Tokyo Chip, Dinosaurs and Capes, and much, much more. There'll be prizes and free tings.
Free tings.
Oh, yeah. And there's another Tokyo Chip coming up. And if you want more details of that, please go on to our Facebook, Niche Nights, Twitter, @Niche Radio, or our YouTube, which is Niche Nights also. And it's going to be lots of fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. It's Laputa Castle in the Sky. Is that right?
I believe it is.
Yeah,
and
that's what they're
another
showing.
choice by Mike that I've not seen, which is excellent.
Yeah, and a second Ghibli one, because we've had Princess Mononoke, which is an absolutely incredible film. And to be honest, I think any... if you do Tokyo Chip nights where you're showing a classic Japanese film, mostly kind of anime orientated every time, eventually you're going to come back to Studio Ghibli over and over again, because there are such legends that have dominated, especially, well, it's dominated the Japanese kind of animated film world.
The crossover from Japanese to English and the mismatch sounds like it's negative, but the dovetailing, shall I say, of
juxtaposition.
English and Japanese culture, cinematically as well as just culturally, is done perfectly in Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli. I like the way that the animation's quite British, and they still do it old school most of the time.
Which is interesting, because some Japanese films can be harder to watch, obviously, because the culture's very different, and I'm sure the other way around works. So they've really done well appealing to both sides and both audiences.
Indeed they have.
Indeed.
So, how about, engage. So, is a quiz.
Quiz. Quiz. Quiz. Quiz.
Set phases to quiz.
Baby.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
So everyone knows the score here. I'm going to read out 5 questions. Owen's going to somehow suggest, probably through noise because it's radio, whether he knows the answer, thinks he knows the answer, isn't sure, or doesn't know it. Then we're going to play the quiz theme again. Jot down your answers as we're going along. Play the quiz theme, and then Owen's going to guess.
Yeah. Then after the quiz theme again, you've got that long to jot down your answers. And hey, if you get in touch on our Facebook, Twitter, etc., then if you've got all the answers right, then we'll probably do something nice for you. Like perhaps give you a free entry to one of our nights, perhaps send you something in the post, perhaps just give you a high five or a shout out on the show. Anything at all. But please get involved, because I don't want to quiz this alone. I need you guys' help. Come on.
And also, if Owen gets 5 out of 5, 100%, he gets to play the Final Fantasy victory theme,
which I'm looking forward to, because it's great and my fave. So without further ado, quiz me, baby.
Are you sitting comfortably?
Yeah.
Have you set your phases to quiz?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Metaphorically.
Then I'll pick quiz. Question 1. Pens ready. Who most famously drinks Duff beer? It's not Chewbacca.
Oh, I think I've got an idea about that one.
Question 1. Who most famously drinks Duff beer? Question 2. Who likes orange soda?
I think I might know this one as well.
Question 2. Who likes orange soda?
Is it me?
No. Well, I don't know.
Okay, that wasn't my answer. You don't count
I
that.
don't pay enough attention to your likes and dislikes. Question 3. Name the episode of River Song's first appearance in Doctor Who. Let's name the episode of River Song's first appearance in Doctor Who.
Okay.
I can give you a clue on that one.
No,
The answers if you
I've
like.
I've got an idea on it, yeah. But I'd like clues. They're helpful.
Okay. Question 4. In tribute to the man himself who we're dedicating our show to. What are fans of Firefly known as? What are fans of Firefly known as? Question 4. And question 5. If you got a pen on you, that's better than if you're at your laptop, but it doesn't really matter because we won't see it. I want you to draw the symbol for the Earth according to Stargate SG-1. So it's always the 7th chevron, and it's the symbol for Earth according to Stargate SG-1.
Excellent. Yeah, cool. I've got that down. Okay, well, while everybody has a think, including me, and I've got to try and make up some kind of 7th chevron here, I'm just going to play the theme again.
Quiz. 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 Quiz.
Hey, have you set your phases to quiz answers?
I have. So, ladies and gents, if you're listening out on the old radio or on the internet, is it the same thing? I just don't know. Either way, crack yourselves a beer and put your feet up because we're going to win this quiz. You and me, together.
And just briefly talking about togetherness and listening to us on the radio. Found out 2 weeks ago, Fab Radio International is now the most listened to internet radio station in the whole of the UK.
In the whole of the UK?
The whole of the UK, this studio that we're sat in, Fab Radio International, is number 1 most listened to.
Hey!
Everybody, if you've got a drink, have a cheers. If you've got a smoke, have a toke.
You know what? This
If you've
is.
got feet, have a dance.
You know what? This I shouldn't be allowed to do this, but just for that fact, I'll just have to play this. Number 1 in the UK.
Well done to Paul Rittman, who basically runs this entire ship.
Yeah, and congratulations also to all of the other DJs and radio shows on Fab Radio International. We must be doing something right, I guess.
Definitely. Especially Graham from Gameface.
yeah, we do love him. It's a bit of a bromance. If he's listening, please just return my calls.
Gameface, and listen to Super Sci-Fi Saturday every Saturday from 9 p.m. There's some adverts. Anyway, here's the answers.
Yeah, give me the answers. Come on.
Right.
Number 1.
Number 1. Who most famously drinks Duff beer?
Well, I'd say Homer, but if it was a trick question, Duff Man does quite famously drink Duff beer.
I've written both down and would have accepted one or both. Fair play.
Thanks very much.
1
point.
Anyone at home, if you've got either of those or both, I imagine it's both, you get the point and the pride. Question 2. Who likes orange soda?
Kellogg's orange soda. I do. That was a 90s question for fans of Live and Kicking.
It was Keenan and Kel. Kel likes orange soda.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It was because I couldn't figure out where he left the screw. There's a famous court episode. I left the screw in the
tuna.
Was it the tuna?
Yeah.
That was going to be the question when I was writing it, and I couldn't remember what he left it in. I kept going cupcake, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It was either tuna or tuba.
Maybe the tuba.
So, question 3. Come on, hit me up. I'm gagging to know.
Question 3. Name the episode in Doctor Who where River Song first appears.
It's River Song. Oh, he's going to give me a clue, though, so we'll get a second chance.
Okay. The next season is very much about this title in a way. We can think of the next season and what it's about. That's a clue to the name of the episode.
Is it called Amy Pond?
Nope. The episode is called Silence in the Library.
Oh.
And if you're listening, Tom
How's
Baker,
that?
stop phoning me.
How was that? That was a bad clue.
The next series is about the silence.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
Oh,
difficult.
it's not the one after. Anyway, you got it wrong.
Oh, thank you for the misleading clue. Much appreciated.
It's right, because this one's for you. Question 4. What are Firefly fans known as?
Browncoats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon's rad.
He is, and a big up to all the fellow Browncoats out there. Respect, and keep doing what you're doing, because we obviously have excellent taste.
Question 5. If you've got it at home, I'm going to have to describe this to you. But Owen, show me your drawing of the Earth symbol according to Stargate SG-1.
Okay, well, it's this way up. I kind of drew a backwards G, and then drew a little kind of sun orbiting it, like a little one. Although the sun doesn't orbit the Earth. I just want you all to be aware that I do actually know the planetary jive. And then I did kind of draw a winky sticking out of it, just so I got bored. It looks like a bit like this. Was that close? Was it close enough?
If you had just drawn the sun coming out of a winky, I might have even given it to you. It's the sun sitting on top of a pyramid.
Oh, okay. Can you just move your index finger down a little bit? Oh, okay. You weren't covering anything. Oh, well, now I know for next time. If I need to draw Earth to intergalactic travellers, then I've got it down, and I'll leave out the winky next time.
We should decide if ever the world becomes in a state where, well, in our lifetimes, where we can send things into space, we should design a thing to send to other species and send that logo.
Yeah.
And other things like our blood.
Yeah.
And no
sure.
effects.
Yeah, no effects are rad. So, ladies and gents, I'm curious now because Connell has informed me that we are number one listened to radio show in the UK on Fab Radio International, which is excellent news. And thank you all very much for tuning into Niche Radio. I'd like to know a little bit more though about how many of you are actually out there listening. So, if anyone's on your computer or near a computer now, please get onto our Facebook on Niche Nights or our Twitter at Niche Radio and just get in touch and give us any feedback you want. And tell us what to do with the show because, we're bored of thinking up ideas. And, you guys are obviously very intelligent because you're listening to a show about geeky stuff. So you've obviously got excellent taste. So please get in touch, share your ideas, no idea too small, and we'll give it a try on the forthcoming shows. But I didn't win the quiz, and that's the most important thing here.
You got 3 out of 5. That was
okay. I mean, that was quite a difficult quiz, I thought, for me anyway.
fair play.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Who questions are mostly over my head. Every now and again, I'll completely ace one out of the blue, but they're usually just a bit of a blind guess.
Silence in the Library is a phenomenal episode. One of my favourite ever Doctor Who episodes, actually.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of time for Doctor Who, but apparently not enough time to actually watch Doctor Who, which is a shame. So, anyway.
We've got a little fact about Doctor Who coming up in our randomly selected Actor of the Week, which I think is coming up quite soon.
It is, but also, we've... talking of Doctor Who, by doing these quizzes and chatting about it over the years and me not watching Doctor Who, you've spoiled quite a lot of Doctor Who for me. I know a lot of what's going to happen before I even watch all the decade-old episodes. So on that theme, here's some spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
In Quantum Leap, Sam Beckett never actually makes it home.
Shut up!
So today, on every show, in fact, not just today, I don't want to make it sound too special, we're going to do a spoiler alert, which is where we spoil stuff for you. I don't know.
Ned dies.
He does. He does die. Yeah, so we've been watching lots of TV and reading comics and things, and today we've just rinsed loads of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., although we haven't quite caught up. But so far, it's been pretty exciting. Right? What are your thoughts? Because we've not really discussed it. You've just rinsed, 3 episodes today?
Yeah, but to be fair, we went to put on one, have some quick food before coming here. I didn't even shower today because we just watched that. I cooked some awesome food.
You did cook some awesome food.
I have
to remember that one.
Yeah, for just what we had in the cupboard. But yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I watched the episode, as some people may know, I love Battlestar Galactica. Seeing Adama come into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. made my week.
Yeah,
maybe even my fortnight.
And he does play a badass, like Adama, in many, many ways.
Exactly the character I would want him to play, to be fair, even though I don't like him. But that aside, the episode we've just watched was so many things in one. So you found out the etymology, as it were, of the cavalry and how it was actually called the cavalry, a unit who she fought off when they were possessed by a little girl whose mum gave her some diamonds, and that made her want to feed off pain.
Terrigan crystals.
Terrigan crystals. I apologise. Of course.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird power, whatever it was. But yeah, it was pretty dark. The whole thing was pretty dark, wasn't it?
I like that Sky's mum has come back. Well, not come back. We've always known she was there, but now she's in charge of the afterlife, as it were. Her dad's there, Cal, and yeah, you found out about Sky's parents. You found out the history of how that happened. You found out that Cal's actually quite a nice guy, driven crazy by his need of vengeance and search for his child, which
that would do it to you, wouldn't it?
Understandable why you might go that way. The cavalry.
That backstory about Melinda was absolutely brilliant. Melinda May's character, played by Ming-Na Wen, is absolutely brilliant. She plays such a badass, such a stoic, kind of bodily uppy kind of. I'm gonna get the job done if it kills me.
Classic Joss Whedon, like it's subtly done. Like she just noticed a little girl in the background after her and her husband had like been talking like, oh, she's starting to try for kids, and had like a maternal moment, and then suddenly that fell into it, and it was the girl who she had to fight, and you can see how she was just a completely standard agent, normal person
with her own life as well before,
who basically the job took away her, I don't know, emotions almost. That's
pretty much, yeah.
The May she is today.
She had become such a kind of a shell, such a husk to block it all out. But also what I thought was quite neat was that they show her being transferred after such a trauma of having to deal with this special but clearly insane kid. They transfer her to an office where she's just stapling and filing paper, and that's the same office that you can see Coulson approach her in the very first episode of the first season when he recruits her and says, I want you to get on the bus, I want you to drive the bus, I don't want you to become an active field agent.
I didn't notice that. I did notice, to get like overly technical and mega geeky on it, I loved the crossovers between the scenes. Like they faded in from 7 years previous to current day and just perfectly matched the stories as if you would like mixing tracks. It was beautiful. Like the office moved into Agent May, who's now been put on the board of S.H.I.E.L.D. in her office, also doing the same paperwork.
Yeah,
so neatly. Every single
the scene selection and cinematography was really good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really neat, and you fell into the 7 years previous or present day as opposed to, oh, you're back to that.
Yeah, I think I agree, and it's an awesome scene on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. A lot of people have dissed it for being a little bit slow, but I think it's been absolutely brilliant and has built up the story as it needed to be built up. But also, I've been watching Gotham recently, and I watched the season finale last night. Now, I'm afraid this is full of spoilers, and Connell can close his ears if he needs, and so can you, but I'm not going to spoil it too badly. I'm going to try and be vague. Basically, what you get out of it is you get a excellent conclusion to Edward Enigma's kind of romantic storyline. Chasing after one of the girls he works with. Jim Gordon is making harder and harder calls. You see the development of Barbara Gordon in a very, very shocking way, where she witnesses something horrible and goes insane because of it. And the actress Marina Baccarin, I can't remember the name of her character, but she was in Firefly, and amazing actress. And she comes into it a little bit more as well at the very end there. You also see Penguin take a lot of control. You see the return of some characters that have been missing. And basically they saved everything that was coming to a head for the very last episode. There are huge, shocking moments in it. And very, very few slow moments, which Gotham as well has been criticised for some slow kind of build-up. But I think it's absolutely knocked the ball out of the park. But talking of knocking balls out of the park, there's an actor which we both love very much, isn't there? He's been in tons and tons of cool stuff. He seems like a very, very nice person, and he's also champions a donkey sanctuary.
If he was to throw a ball at you, he would knock it out of the park.
He would, exactly. And I'd want him to watch over me forever. So without further ado.
Hey Owen, should we talk about a randomly selected actor of the week?
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you steady?
Mm-hmm.
Owen, please, will you announce this week's Niche Radio, Fab Radio International, randomly selected actor of the week.
It's Anthony Stewart Head.
Duh!
So there we go. After that anticlimactic intro, Anthony Stewart Head. Of course, most of us will know him from Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Rupert Giles or Ripper. But he's been in loads of stuff, hasn't he? He was the thing that first kind of brought him to everyone's attention was the Nescafe adverts in the 90s that were kind of like a soap opera.
I've got a bit of a thing about adverts. I love adverts,
especially really well done ones.
Well, yeah, like Nescafe. I don't even drink coffee. We'll never drink Nescafe. It's pretty gross. But those adverts were genius. It was if you've not seen them, I think there was 12 in total, probably over the course of about 3 years. And it was like a guy was sat in a shop and ordered a coffee, and so did some girl, and they met, and then it was like, oh, that advert was alright. I suppose people meet and order the same coffee. Yeah. And then the next one was like they met again, and then it progressed, and it showed their entire relationship to the point where they were married, had a kid. Like, this brilliant. Like, who thought of that? Have a story arc for adverts for the same thing over the next 3 years.
Absolutely brilliant.
BBC tried to do it, and that was crap.
And also, like, Anthony Stewart Head played it in such a very British, almost sleazy way. There's that classic line of, you don't want to come up for coffee, which he says with this kind of terminal intensity in his eyes, as if like, yep, now is the time for us to make the love, potentially with the coffee. And I just melted into his eyes.
He did it perfectly. Made coffee sexy.
Yeah. Do you that's reminded me of Metalocalypse then, making coffee metal. Anyway. Yeah, but he's been
Buffy.
tons of stuff.
Did you know, of all they did a Joss Whedon, if you're a big fan of Joss Whedon, vote in for your sexiest characters, and Rupert Giles or Anthony Stewart Head got voted number 5 sexiest man in all of the Whedonverse.
Wow, that's a pretty high accolade, because there's some very sexy men in that.
There are.
I mean, I'd agree.
I'd rate him higher.
Yeah, I would. I'd probably rate him the sexiest of all the men in it, to be honest.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Also, he's the love for him was so huge on Buffy that they seriously considered doing a Ripper spin-off, which is his kind of early days before he became a Watcher, which is that unruly sorcerer.
It would have been so good.
It would have been. It would have starred his daughters, Daisy, and I forget the other one's name.
Sky.
No, it's not. But that was an excellent Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference, though. But yeah, his 2 daughters, who are also actors, they were going to appear in it as his aunts.
That's cool.
Yeah, Sophronia and Lavinia, who are these very vain kind of London fashion types. But anyway, yeah, so Ripper would have been great.
From Sabrina.
Yeah. So it would have been brilliant. It would have been Giles as a younger, kind of more unruly bad guy, really,
like
an anti-hero.
It came off the episode Band Candy, didn't it? When the mayor got someone what's his name, his old school friend from
Ethan Rain.
The mayor got him to deliver Band Candy round, which was possessed and turn people into young, angsty, might destroy the community people. It was very random.
Yeah, but brilliant though.
And he had sex like a troubadour on top of a police car, I believe.
Yeah, and his accent for that was probably, although he puts on this kind of brash, almost Sid Vicious-esque kind of Cockney accent, more akin to Spike's, interestingly, for later on. But he was born in London in Camden Town itself. So so in that episode when he's meant to be young Ripper, he falls back into that Cockney accent so easily. And you found out a fact about James Masters, didn't you?
James Masters didn't know how to play Spike, so based his accent on Anthony Stewart Head's actual accent because it was so broad Cockney.
Brilliant! What a legend!
But also punky at the same time. It's perfect.
Yeah. And he's a bit of a punk in himself. He's done such a variety of things, from being in Howard's Alias and lots of kind of period drama-y stuff. He's also been Uther Pendragon, who is King Arthur's dad in Merlin, and he's been in tons and tons of musicals and stage shows. And he was in Demon Barber of Sweeney Todd, Demon Barber of Fleet Street, the Tim Burton one.
An uncredited extra, which seems strange.
It does. Maybe
For a
he just
man of
wanted to be in
stature.
it so much that he just said, "Look, can I just be in it?" He's like, "Yeah, have to credit me. It's all good."
To be fair, if I was on a par with him, I would do the same projects I like.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. I'll just be in the background, say I'm in it.
Yeah, in the early 90s, he first was Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I think is brilliant because, who doesn't want to see Anthony Stewart Head in fishnets?
And if you do, there's a wonderful video on YouTube. I say video, it's like an hour long. It's a little episode they did where they got a lot of people. Anthony Stewart Head was in charge, playing Frankfurter again, doing the whole sing-along, almost like a karaoke show. They got Tara on, she was very good. Quite a
I
few
have
of
to watch
the
that, love it.
Whedon cast. So yeah, watch that. Also, he was Mr. Finch in Doctor Who, the episode where he was headmaster of the school, which got taken over, and
By the creepy possessed things.
yeah, but
Kinda
they were. I keep thinking Carianites, but they were the witches. It was the Creolas or
Crayolas.
Creotites, I think.
Okay.
I can't think.
Yeah, I have actually seen that episode, one of the few ones I have. But yeah,
I bought a K2 back in that episode.
excellent. And he's
K9,
been,
sorry, I want my K2. I was thinking about the...
he's been in tons and tons of British telly, especially. And apparently he would have been in more of Buffy, but he signed off towards the end of throughout the sixth season because he realised that he had spent more time in America, too much time he felt in America shooting Buffy, and in fact he spent so much time there it was half his youngest child's life. He'd actually been there filming. Yeah, so that's why he decided to abdicate the throne of Giles, and then of course he appeared for many guest starring roles after that, and in the last two seasons of Buffy. And he is an all-round legend. He's also had a lucrative musical career, including a couple of solo albums and guest appearances, and a release of A Sweet Transvestite as a single from his Rocky Horror days. But without further ado...
Oh, we've missed out one really cool fact. He auditioned for the part of the 8th Doctor. For the feature-length episode, and was unfortunately beaten by Paul McCann. But wouldn't that have been cool?
Yeah, Anthony Stewart Head would have been my favourite Doctor, without a shadow of a doubt. What if he was? Talking of what if...
We couldn't be now.
What if?
What if Wolverine's bones were made of chocolate?
What if Doctor Who used his powers for evil?
Oh, what if the Simpsons were all topless?
What if Bruce Banner never went to school?
What if...
Shut up! Niche Radio tells you what if.
We do. So today it's talking about superpowers. What if superpowers were real? We've done similar ones to this before, but we're going to focus more on the kind of the negative extra aspects of what would otherwise be awesome superpowers.
We were thinking today, like, forget, like, we did one before, and we said, like, flying, but, like, could your body withstand the speed and velocity and altitude and all this? Forget that. Say, just you had a good, solid power. How would your mates abuse it? For example, we said today, like, we really wanted some chicken, which is why I ended up cooking a lovely meal, so it worked out well.
It did.
But we didn't want to order takeaway, and we didn't want to go out. So wouldn't it be good if someone could teleport? And then if you could teleport, realistically, your mates you'd be the designated driver for everything.
You
which
would.
would be a ball ache. You would be like, oh, mate, like, I could order some chicken. But why don't you just go get it? You'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to pay for it. I mean, you'd be becoming a thief if you were a teleporter. It'd be too easy just to turn up at a fried chicken place, scoop some fried chicken, teleport out, never be seen again.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it
wants
anywhere
that.
as well. I mean, this was an idea we got from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but there's a teleporter in that.
Yeah, you
And
could
who
do
goes
it
to
for
do-
burgers as well.
Yeah, he
Pizza.
goes across the world though. You'd be like, oh well, where's the best pizza? Okay, let's go get a deep pan Chicago pizza from Chicago. Boom, boom. Also, if you were, I mean, it'd be quite inconvenient in many ways because if, for example, if you could fly, I never understood how Superman's hair stayed so good. If you were flying at ridiculous speeds around the thing, especially if you're going to pick up a girl, which usually seems like it's mostly Superman's thing. You know, Lois Lane rings him up and like, I've got a lot of shopping here.
I'm falling out of a building.
I'm in trouble. Lex Luthor's after me, and also I've got an early meeting. Would you mind just picking me up, just quickly, whiz me back home? But his hair's always fine. I don't understand. You know, surely afterwards it would be everywhere.
Plus, she would get pissy about it because it would be like, well, it'll take you half a second to get here and half a second back. Can you just do it? Like, well, no, I'm having a beer.
Yeah, come on.
Leave me alone. And if you were having a beer, you might get mixed up. If you don't teleport drunk, it's like driving.
Yeah, if you teleport into the middle of a brick wall, or what if you were like, oh yeah, I need to pick up Lois. Oh, I shouldn't have had all those stutters earlier. Oh no, I'll just do it now quickly, it'll be fine. And then you teleport into her, and the force of you teleporting inside her explodes her. You'd feel really bad afterwards, wouldn't you?
She probably would.
Yeah, I mean, depends how much you like Lois Lane. I wouldn't feel too bad unless it was the Clark and Lois and Clark TV series. I liked that version of her.
Yeah, Terry Hatchett.
Yeah, she was awesome.
That was really good.
That was a great 90s TV show. Maybe cheesy now looking back on it, but in all the best ways.
What other powers would be annoying? In fact, what are the classic powers?
Well, to be fair, the ones like Wolverine, for example, living forever, you get bored of that. And also, in pretty much, I mean, in the comics and in the films, Wolverine's kind of resigned to, yeah, I'm pretty much invincible, so, I'll do all the hard jobs. Like in Days of Future Past, he's like, oh, well, nobody else's body could withstand going back in time. He's like, well, I could. Like, oh, right, well, you better go back. He's like, yeah, okay.
Plus, you have to watch everyone you've ever loved die.
Well, yeah, that'd be pretty hard, wouldn't it?
Sorry.
You would though, and they make it
like Highlander.
Yeah, they make a big point of it in the comics as well, like how he has, he's had so many loves over the past. Well, not I say so many. He's had a handful, but that would suck. Well, Black Bolt, he's one of the king of the Inhumans, and which is quite apt since we've been watching lots of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that have been introducing that. But his power is his voice is super powerful, so even the tiniest whisper can level complete cities. And that would be very, very inconvenient, wouldn't it? So, okay, you're having a shouting match with one of your friends or your missus or somebody, and he literally can't say anything. So you could be getting shouted at, and all he can do is kind of gesture.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Same as the Hulk.
So as soon as he even said something like, queef, then that'd be a whole city done.
What if they were making the love and wanted to vocalize his extent for his admiration for his love?
Yeah. But what if he just made a sex noise? Okay, he gets a bit carried away and goes, and then that's it. That's the house blown up. Yeah, she's gone. He's probably blowing your dick off as well. It's just
nobody's got time for that.
No, that's just not ideal, is it?
The Hulk, people would be walking behind him with elastic bands going, go on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and what if somebody nips up behind him, pinches his bum, he doesn't expect it, and he goes, ooh! And that's it, he just destroyed the cosmos.
Yeah, or sneezes. What happens if he sneezes?
Well, he's fudged, mate. Completely fudged.
So is everyone else.
Yeah.
So in reality, have we decided that superpowers would be either abused by mates or pretty lame or disadvantageous, as opposed to... Maybe that's why they call them superheroes, because they're really difficult to tame to be used for good.
That's probably it. I reckon so. Yeah, it's a lot of factors involved, but with great power comes great responsibility.
Geek Scene, what's happening locally and geekily.
So, here we are. You're listening to Niche Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are your hosts. Who are we?
He's Owen Duncan.
And you're Conor Taylor.
And today we're going to be talking about things coming out. Geek Scene. And we thought we'd reiterate one more time quickly about this niche review, because it's starting next week, and we didn't announce that earlier. So next week will be the first one. So if anyone's come to any of our Geek Nights, you've probably listened to... bought a drink for their lovely lads, TRV, the Riververses. Mm-hmm. So next week will be the first niche review, and we'll be reviewing their comic of the same name, the Riververses. So if you're a fan, please have a listen. If you're not a fan, have a listen anyway, that'd be nice. But if you're a fan, ask us any questions for them you would like, and we'll speak to them over the next week.
Yeah, we can get in touch and find out a bit more about the creative process, because it's an amazing comic. If you've had the pleasure of reading it, it is absolutely brilliant. I've read it, and without going into very much detail, I thought there was a lot of Legend of Zelda vibes, but a very post-apocalyptic, dystopian especially.
So that's a good brief synopsis.
Yeah, I think it was excellent. But yeah, we'll hear more about that next week. And of course, please get in touch if you've got any other stuff.
What we're going to say as well for Geek Scene, obviously no one can forget the fact that there's the general election tomorrow. So Geek Scene and Beyond becomes our sci-fi version of general election.
Yep.
So we're assigning sci-fi characters to the party leaders and seeing who wins in a fight to cross over with our Who Would Win in a Fight section, Geek Scene and Beyond, and let's talk about politics, because that's always fun.
Okay, so
Who would you assign?
let's start with the big two. Let's start with the Labour and Tories. Yeah, the two that are always at the top.
Who would you assign to David Cameron, superhero, or, well, superverse-wise?
Okay, I don't know. I think you should choose David Cameron, because I think I've got an idea for Ed Miliband.
Okay,
What his power would be.
I think... before we say this, Natalie Bennett is not, from the Green Party, if anyone doesn't know, is not going to be the Hulk, because she's not the Hulk.
No, but
chance.
but Green is a good comparison there.
What's is it the Red Hulk who's the Red Hulk?
General Ross in the comics.
He can be David Cameron.
Okay, yeah, okay, because he's got a stupid moustache, and David Cameron hasn't, but he should have a stupid moustache
Because he's lame and he thinks he's in charge and knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Well, okay, for Ed Miliband, I think was going to compare him to Black Bolt, because every time he opens his mouth, it devastates everything.
Fair. Nick Clegg can be Aquaman.
Oh yeah, because nobody
Everybody
cares.
thinks he's a beep. Oh, we're getting censored now.
Oh,
And he's
dear.
completely pointless, and even knows his own powers are pointless, and does nothing, and is the most irrelevant character in politics and history.
But he can speak to fish. That's Nick Clegg, not even Aquaman. I've
folks.
Okay, so who do you think?
Natalie Bennett. We're going to forget the other two because no one cares about Blythe Crude and S&B. Not here anyway.
Not in this room of two people.
Natalie Bennett can be...
Oh, she'd be Poison Ivy, right? She's growing all the sort of green stuff everywhere.
That could work, apart from she's evil.
Poison Ivy's kind of evil. She's more of a seductress. And Natalie Bennett has seducted a lot more people to vote Green Party this year, by the looks of it.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Okay, Nigel Farage. I mean, it's a bit too much of a cool comparison here, because I'm not a big fan of Nigel Farage.
Nobody is.
In my opinion, nobody should be. But sorry for any UKIP fans out there.
I'm not.
No, I think...
Don't listen to my show.
Yeah, actually, that's a much better point. But so I think he's going to be Batman, because he's all like... I can't do it now. I had this down before.
So, this is my city, and I'm taking it back for the people of Gotham, but not for anybody else that's not in Gotham.
Okay, I can see that. He's gonna get wiped out by
Bane?
He's gonna get wiped out by Red Hulk straight away. Who's Ed Miliband?
Oh, he was Black Bolt. He's just going to talk and everything's going to fall over.
Fair. He's going to knock down Hulks, because that's, as Natalie Portman has just done in this, she talks Hulk down so she can defeat Red Hulk. So far, Ed Miliband's winning. Poison Ivy...
She might seduce her way in at the last minute.
I think she'll come a close second.
She's always quite a left field character.